Sciences Education at St. Ambrose University. I'm Barbara Ehrmann. I'm on the faculty of the Physical Therapy Department, and I would like to show you our building. So follow me. We moved into this building in 2010. It holds occupational therapy, physical therapy, nursing, and Master of Physician Assistant Studies program. First, I'd like to show you one of our classrooms. So follow me in here. Our class has 36 students in it, and that's what this classroom holds. You may notice some stickers on the table right now. This is so that we can appropriately distance our students during the pandemic. But in a normal year, all 36 students do fit in this classroom, and we have had students in classroom and labs throughout the first semester, and we expect that to continue in the second semester. Now I will take you down the hall to the faculty offices. We have a very open door policy here at the physical therapy department. So other than break time, which is when we're touring now, doors are all open and faculty members are available for students to stop in with questions or just to visit or chat. This is our main office. So if you were to come for a tour here, this would be the first place that you would stop and check in before you would meet with a faculty member. We have open advising sessions all the time. You just need to call and schedule one. And then these are our faculty offices through here. You can tell it's Christmas time from the wreaths on the door. Students have mailboxes here. We can put communications for students in here. First year students have mentors in the second year, and sometimes they'll leave little treats for them or notes or Secret Santa types of things, Halloween candy, so it's a way to communicate. If we continue down the hall here, I will show you our labs. You can see behind me on the other half of this floor, that is the occupational therapy department. So physical therapy and occupational therapy are on this first main floor. We have two main labs in this area. This is our therapeutics lab. Now, what you're seeing here is half of the lab. We have this divider. I told you that we have a class of 36. For the majority of our laboratory sessions, we split that class of 36 into two labs of 18. So we can have one lab of 18 going on this side and a separate class on the other side. There are times where we will open up that divider and put all 36 students into the lab. That's generally when it's a combined lecture lab session, or we have more than one faculty member in the lab at a time. Throughout the pandemic, we have spread the 18 students throughout the whole lab, so it has required us to have more lab sessions. But again, the important thing was that we were able to keep students in the lab during the pandemic so they could learn hands-on safely. This is our human performance lab, and we use this lab for a lot of different activities. You can see there's a lot of exercise equipment in here. So exercise physiology, some of the kinesiology labs, cardiopulmonary therapeutics. Anytime we're going to want to use a treadmill, or we have a balance machine over here, we have some weight machines, bicycles, we have this lab available to us. And it's also an overflow lab, and has worked well in the pandemic to be able to have that extra space. Students all have lockers, so you have a place to put your coat or belongings or lunch when you're down here. Once you're down in this building, you're really down here all day long. There's limited amount of parking on this campus for students, so you will park in a commuter lot on the main campus and ride the bus down here using your student ID as a bus pass. There is a limited amount of parking, and students can use it to park and carpool, but once you're down here all day. The other end of this hall is primarily physician assistants program. Faculty offices, they have a lab down there, they have some mock treatment rooms. And on the lower level, there is also a lecture hall that we can use for continuing education. There are a couple classes where we put physician assistant students and PT students together, and that room works well for that as well. So next we will head downstairs and I'll show you the student commons area. On the lower floor, or the lower level, I do want to show you the student lounge area. The physician assistant wing was added a few years after the main building, but that doesn't mean that this area is just used by physician assistant students. So there's a very nice lounge in here that our students use as well as any other student in the building. So you can see there are microwaves in here that you can heat lunch up, some nice study tables, computers that are available for use as well. So this is a good space to use for studying. And then down this hall, we have the student lounge area. We do serve breakfast and lunch in this building. If you have a student meal plan, if you're living on campus, you can use that meal plan for lunch here, so you don't have to try and go back and forth to the main campus. They have a really good selection of food. They always have a hot dish. They always have a soup. Then they have sandwiches and salads and breakfast pastries and just about anything you want. Coffee, beverages. I mentioned riding the bus down here. This door is where it would let you out. So you can see when it's super cold or pouring rain, it's a great option. Generally, students will just walk though to and from. So this is the student lounge area. You can eat lunch here. We also have options for classrooms to be open for overflow if this is filled at lunch. So you can always find a place to eat. This is our resource room. There is a main library on the main campus, but this is the more health-specific books and journals, and we also have reserved copies of our required texts here, so if you would need to access those during the day, this room is available to you for that resource. We're going to head down now and look at the nursing department, and the other offices that are down here it's our Master of Public Health program, which is an online-only program, but they do have their offices here. And we use the labs in the nursing department in the very first year for PT Procedures 1, where you're learning about how to work with a patient in the hospital, so positioning those patients in bed, teaching them how to get to the edge of the bed, get out of bed, walk with walkers and canes and all of those things that you're going to use on your very first clinical, which is following your first semester of the PT program. So we'll head down here. And it's the nursing skills lab, but again, we use this lab in the very first semester. And you can see it's set up just like a hospital room. So you get experience using the actual hospital beds that you'll see in the hospital, the kind of limited amount of space that you often have in a hospital, the same type of chair you would be transferring a patient to, the bedside table, the whiteboard with instructions. So you really get used to that whole inpatient environment before your first clinical. So this is one of the simulation labs, and normally there would be a mannequin simulator in here. Now we will come down and use this particularly in cardiopulmonary therapeutics when students are learning about working in the ICU, working with patients on ventilators. So you can see you have computer monitors that would act as those same monitors that you would see in the ICU, monitoring heart rate and oxygen saturation, blood pressure. But if you see over here, this looks like a mirror. And what is on the other side is a control room. So we as faculty members can be on the other side controlling the responses of the simulated mannequin and noticing how our students react. Have you noticed that the heart rate changed? Have you noticed that the blood pressure changes? Have you stopped your treatment or altered your treatment accordingly? So it's a nice way, again, to simulate that in inpatient type of environment. This is our computer lab, or a computer lab. We use this for some of our courses when we want students to all be on computers at the same time, working on something, We use it for clinical education, sometimes evidence-based practice. As we've gone to more online types of taking exams during this pandemic, because some students are learning from home, we might down the road go to an instance where we might have all students take their exam on the computer, but they're all together. So we don't have to worry about internet availability or if there's a noise factor with a student taking it at home. So it really presents for a lot of good options to be able to use the computers as an entire class. So I mentioned earlier that we do have one lecture room in the new part of the building, and this is it. One of the ways we use it in our PT department is we have our meetings of our Southeast District Iowa Physical Therapy Association here. So this is nice. Clinicians from all over the Southeast District, or that part of the state of Iowa that we're in, can come. Our students can come to the meeting. We can have all sorts of continuing education. The local hospitals here can have continuing education. And as I said, occasionally we will put classes together, either first and second year students together, or even physician assistant and PT students together. And this just gives us a nice venue to be able to do that. This is our home health lab. It's in the occupational therapy department, but as with most of our labs and rooms, it's used by all disciplines within the building. One of the really neat things that we have at St. Ambrose is an interprofessional health clinic. So that is used by individuals who have run out of their health insurance, who don't have health insurance, and those individuals are seen by our students: physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language pathology, and sometimes as necessary, the Master of Social Work students. So this particular lab, the home health lab, gives a perfect venue to see those patients because they are at home, and this helps our students figure out how to evaluate them at home, give them treatment plans that they may want to use their counters, because you can see this is set up just like a home. It is also a classroom, so there are tables in here. But if you come back in here, you can see there's a kitchen, just like an individual might have in their home. There's a counter level counter, or a wheelchair level counter. So practice working with those individuals that may be in a wheelchair. There's a bedroom in here. And so you can see there's a lift. There's a lot of equipment in here right now. But so talking about how you would teach family members to transfer an individual to a wheelchair or to use a lift to get them out of bed. So we can do a lot of practice with family training as well with our interprofessional clinic. Over here is a bathroom. So again, more practice in teaching patients and family members how do you safely get in and out of a tub or a shower, or using a toilet riser toilet seat for someone that has had a hip replacement. So it's really a very practical lab, and so it works not only as a classroom, but also to work with community members in our interprofessional clinic. Well, thank you for visiting St. Ambrose University. That's our Center for Health Sciences Education building. Again, we're happy to give individual advising sessions or a personal tour if you'd want to visit the campus, so just contact our physical therapy department. Thank you.